January of this year, registered mobile users in Nigeria transacted for about 2.37 trillion naira worth of transactions, according to statistics made available by the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System. This is a 125% year-on-year increase with respect to where things were last year. In terms of volumes, 541.6 as far as instant payment volumes is concerned, 541.6 million, 55% year-on-year growth. More on cashless. The governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has declared a phase-out of cash transactions in all state agencies in Edo State. The governor declared that this will go into effect March the 1st. He was speaking in Benin, the capital of Edo, during a workshop on the state government's code of conduct for senior civil and public workers. The change occurs in the midst of this cash swap caused by the Naira redesign program. And also, what are we going to do until February the 15th when the Supreme Court hears the case brought by the 3 states, which is now actually 4, with Ekiti states joining Zamfara, Kaduna states with respect to that lawsuit, which the Supreme Court has put a stay of execution on. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins us to discuss further. Chika, good morning. New week.
New week of
How
cash. Today's what, 13? 12 days to election.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
12 days to determine the future of Nigeria.
Very, very true.
I hope you have your PVC.
I have my PVCs ready to go.
That day.
Ready to go.
Water bottles and everything. Let's just go and queue up there.
And be ready.
No matter how long it takes.
We must vote.
What kind of votes?
And we must count.
Come rain, come sunshine, come ice, come snow, come anything.
We're voting.
Vote. And
yes,
vote.
Chika, what do you make of this big jump in electronic transactions?
I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
I mean, the push is towards financial inclusion.
Yeah.
Even despite the increases I thought about, Nigeria still lags behind some African countries on financial inclusion. You know, talk about Kenya, where the inclusion is almost more than 85%. So there are scenarios that have led to this increase that you thought about.
Yes.
Remember that when Central Bank, I think in October, pushed the issue of the new notes, and you know, like we try to break it down for our people here.
Yes.
I just want to communicate to our people here that the issue was, remember, Central Bank said he had about 2.7 trillion of cash outside the banking system.
Yes.
And the good instruction was go and put your money into the banks. Now, it wasn't going to be a 1-for-1 old note 2.7 trillion, then the CBN will print new notes 2.7 trillion.
Right.
It's not going to be like that. CBN objective was to reduce the amount of cash in the system and gravitate and push citizens towards alternative transaction platforms. Yeah. So it's not surprising, therefore, that these volumes are increasing because as cash is disappearing from the system, will you just shut down your shop and say you don't want to trade?
No, you must find another way.
You must find another way to trade.
Yeah.
And therefore, a lot of businesses needed to, were not interested in cash, you know, had to start accepting alternative forms of payment to consumer transactions. And so it's not surprising, therefore, that you see the volumes in the increase in that. As we try to balance things here, please let's put it out there that we're totally in support of the CBN, you know, change of currencies. You know, we just believe that some of things would have been done faster to make life a little more comfortable for our citizens. I do believe that if we are pushing towards alternative channels, as a project manager that I am, I would have immediately known that NIBS, the capacity of banks to handle alternative all these transactions, must be enhanced. Do recall also that what happened was that a lot of banks transactions froze. In the networks,
they were
hanging. So that shouldn't have happened. The other thing I know also that CBN, that we're pushing, and I know CBN is listening, is the fact that the bottom of the pyramid were those who were a little more interested, you know, they were pushing them towards alternative channels. But the cost of transaction was high for them. If you're going to withdraw 1,000 naira and you're going to spend about 100 naira as cost of transaction, it was not going to work. So as they were pushing people towards alternative channels, we believed also that there would have been called a moratorium on the cost of transaction, even for 6 months, and say, okay, within the 6 months for the transition, let the charges be either eliminated or something like that. I know CBN is working on that because of the fact that you know that other people involved that are private companies, the telecom companies and the banks who will lose income as a result of that.
Exactly.
What's he providing service? But there's a bigger picture for our country. And so while they were having this growth in alternative channels, mobile payments, you know, also the things we talked about in this program, the fact that how does CBN or the banking system handle failed transactions? You know, a lot of people, especially at the bottom of the pyramid, spend days trying to chase transactions that failed before the reversals are done. And this may be their last card.
Right.
And so this is a major issue for them. The other element of it also that we don't need a signal. Every person involved in the value chain, in the alternative payment value chain, must immediately go and increase the capacity of the networks to be able to accept more transactions and reduce the kind of failure that we had when everybody had a bumped up arrival, a bunch up arrival of transactions into the system.
Well said. That's very balanced there, Chika. Gordon Obasake, Edo State, wanting to move to cashless.
I'm happy.
March 1st.
You know, when a justification for somebody, one of the distinguished or honorables for this cash something, was said that the central bank was going to hold the election because the security officers are being paid cash. And I said that should not hold because I'm not sure there's any policeman or a soldier in Nigeria that monthly pays, their salary is paid cash. Everybody has an account.
Yes.
Everybody has an account. So, who does government pay? Salaries. Civil servants must have an account. Vendors, they must have an account. Pensioners, they must have an account. So why would they be holding a lot of cash?
I see what you're saying.
You know, so the NFIU, the National Financial Intelligence Unit, has also come up with a policy like that. I think it's from March 1 also. I think the governor of Edo State is right on the back of that. That from local government to state governments and federal government, there will be no cash transactions from March 1. And we hope that the central bank and everybody working on that will support this initiative. Because if you see there, sometimes you hear the amount of volumes of billions that some state governors will draw.
I guess it's huge.
It's amazing. You're wondering why they withdraw so much cash. And we know that when cash is withdrawn, you know, a lot of things happen. A lot of funny things happen. You know, when our sportsmen, instead of crediting their account with their allowances, he allows the sports officials to be able to manipulate the allowances. So if the allowance is $5,000, they should credit their accounts. They will withdraw in cash and pay them 2,000. So the same thing with election also. You want to manipulate in such a way that if security men are entitled to 10,000 naira, you want to pay them cash of 5,000 naira. So cash enables people to do some funny things. So let's all support the system of moving towards electronic payments. And it's for the better of our country. We can calculate a lot of things. We can know the quantum of money in our country. We can initiate policies that work. And so we support the governor of Edo State. And every right-thinking Nigerian should support them to make this work.
Fantastic. Chika, between now and the 15th, the Supreme Court hearing this case. How do you think people are operating now?
It's funny because, you know, this speaks as to the properties of money. You're an economist scholar, you know, it's portable, it's fungible, indivisible. Is what's the other one? It is acceptable. By larger populace. And then it must be scarce. And then those are the 5 properties of money. So it just speaks to what is really money. So that the fact that you bring our currency now, and people are saying we cannot accept it. Because of the little confusion in the system now. And people are wondering what will happen. But let me put it out there for our citizens also. If you have your old currencies, at least as at now, up to the 15th of February, walk into your banks and pay them into their account. They will accept it. No bank can reject the old currencies up to the 15th of March. At least that's 15th of February. That's the judgment that is out there. No bank can reject that. So I support, let's vendors, let's traders, don't lose business because of the old currency. Accept them, but just try and make sure that you put them into the system, at least up before by on or before the 15th of February. So that we don't know what happened on what the Supreme Court will rule again on that day. But at least as of now, all the currencies we have, the old and new, are legal tenders.
Interesting. We'll see what happens day after tomorrow. All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate your time.